going to start by asking, I mean, is this a dream role for you to play Tarzan? Is this sort of role that sort of young kids dream of playing when they're older?
Yeah, I feel like anyone growing up, to be able to bring a childhood dream like a Tarzan or a Mowgli from the Jungle Book or Hercules to life and actually have a career where you get to bring these fantasies that you had as a child and portray them as actors do, it's a dream come true. You really kind of live the Peter Pan life.
Because I mean, there have been a handful of Tarzan films before, most noticeably the Disney one a few years ago. And I was just wondering, what do you think this particular Tarzan brings that's new and sort of unique to the franchise?
What I love about this one is it deals with contemporary or more modern issues, as in deforestation and being proactive with protecting the rainforest and protecting the animals. So it's a very fresh topic, especially nowadays.
So what do you think it is? Because I mean, Tarzan's 100 years old now. The sort of the tale of Tarzan. What do you think it is that has such a staying power amongst kind of so many different generations?
I think he's a very simplistic hero. He's everyone's hero. He comes and you see him at such a young age lose everything and then be adopted in this animal kingdom, which I think everyone wishes that they were raised by animals. It's kind of unconditional in essence, his story. And then he becomes the protector and the king of the apes and the protector of the jungle. So, he fights for justice.
And was it quite an enjoyable challenge to kind of impose yourself on the role and bring about your own, make him sort of unique to you and sort of stamp your own authority on a role that's been covered sort of before elsewhere?
Yeah. Tarzan's such an iconic and timeless character. As you said, it's 100th year. There's been a multitude of different projects, books, movies. So for me, as I auditioned for it, I made it my own, and I really love playing these roles that people might know a bit about, like Hercules, and then you get to add your own spice to it as an actor.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what is it about that appeals to you about these roles? Because obviously not only Hercules and Tarzan, but also if you look at the Twilight franchise, there's kind of to take on roles that have already got such a pre-established and expectant fan base. Is that kind of pressure that you feel that you thrive upon?
Well, Twilight, none of us knew about the fan base with that one. That was unexpected. In my case, anyways, I didn't know it was a book series. But for me, I think I just love playing these iconic roles because they were iconic to me growing up. As a kid, I just had my own heroes, and they weren't as athletes or celebrities. They were in mythology and in comic books and cartoons that I watched. So those guys were my heroes, and now that I'm an actor, I can actually portray them and bring them to life and step into their shoes. And it's really, really fascinating just seeing the little Kellan inside just be so passionate and being able to show that again.
And in regards to the crafting of this particular Tarzan, was it did you use motion capture?
Yeah, it's motion capture.
Yeah. So how was that experience for you?
It's great. As an actor, you're used to getting hair and makeup done, and there's none of that in motion capture. You put on the Lycra suit, you walk in, you do your T formation, and then you get to acting, and you get to create the world in your own head.
And did they ever show you the world and the kind of sketches of the environment or what it was looking like along the way to help you kind of imagine it, so to speak?
Well, Reinhard storyboarded everything. That's what took about 2 years prior to me being signed and a part of the project. And then, so he was able to show us the world and what it looked like, show us his vision, and then allow us to play within that playground. And then afterwards, they don't really lay over the animation. It's really a bit skeleton-ish. So you see your skeleton, you see the movement and how you react within that volume.
And I mean, since we've been here, I've already heard you speak to the gorillas. I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about learning how they sort of communicate with each other and also learning about the whole kind of Tarzan walk as well. Was that quite a challenge?
Yeah, that's probably the hardest, most unique experience. While working with Peter Elliott, who was my motion and animal movement trainer, brilliant man, very well diverse with the understanding and knowledge of the primates. So we would go to different wildlife facilities, and especially being in Munich, they have a great structure there and amazing amount of animals that you could watch and research. And it was just fascinating for me to understand through Peter how these animals react and how they are naturally. And they're kind of like children, where they're just touching anything. They have to taste everything. They throw it. Something's up here. They're just grabbing the boom and tasting everything. And then there's about 5 different sounds that the apes make for different reasons. You know, happiness, anger, sad. You know, you go through them, and there's different tones within them all. So throughout the script, we'd have different hissing and grunts and barks. And with the walking, you know, my Tarzan, he's very agile and flexible and very stealthy as well. So he kind of walks on his toes when I naturally walk on my heels. So being able to correct that, you know, we would put these little foams underneath our heels just to give us that lift, so you're really forcing yourself to glide on the ground like, you know, most animals do. They try not to make sounds. And he's a bit like a boxer as well, where he's just light on his feet.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Buddy.